Hey, welcome Dad Squad. You are watching another episode of Run With My Son, and we are a show all about dads who refuse to let the headwinds of life push us off that path to a lifelong heart-to-heart relationship with our sons. And we do that through something we call runversations, deliberate heart-to-heart conversations that we have with our son while we're out and about, being active, being fit, and going on runs. Today's episode's a fun one. It's about sibling rivalry. Now, any of you who've got multiple kids, multiple children in your household, or any of you who may yet someday have multiple children in your household will probably get a lot out of this lesson. I sure did. I am taking some of the material today from a book by Joanna Faber and Julie King called How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen. And it's fairly well known and had a lot of lessons in there that I should first of all tell you that I am no master in. We have sibling rivalries in our household frequently, all the time. I don't always deal with them in the best ways, and I'm looking to change that. And so Dad Squad, your accountability and help in this would be great. Just ask me in the comments here on the video or elsewhere on our Facebook group, and I'll do the same for you as we all strive together in our journey to build that relationship with our sons. But this is one area that I was eager to dive into and learn a little about, because it's something we have frequently in our household. Now, sibling rivalries, let's start right off talking about the problem. They come in all different sizes and shapes, right? It's unique for every household. You've got different dynamics. You can have brother-sister rivalries. You can have brother-brother rivalries. Some of the fiercest of them all, sister-sister rivalries. And then, of course, there's the age-based rivalries, older versus younger. And the more children you have in your house, the more this dynamic is compounded, the more combinations of rivalries that you might be facing. So knowing that, you'll want to apply this to how it fits. But there's some examples I'm giving here that are going to assume the most common type of rivalry, an older sibling, younger sibling style rivalry. And these are some great tips, 7 of them, on how you as a parent can help untangle that rivalry, as our topic says, and hopefully make things a little more peaceful in your household. So let's start right off the bat with number 1, which is to accept feelings. Sometimes it's the urge is there to take sides and to deny somebody's side of the argument. But you can't do that. You have to hear both arguers fairly, because that's what we all want. We all want to be heard, more than anything else. And so you want to accept feelings. You want to understand. Yeah, I understand, Billy. Sometimes I know it can be hard to have a little sister. I had a little sister, still do. And man, it's a pain in the neck sometimes. Let them know that you understand that trouble and that they're going to come out the other end. So make it clear that you understand them. And number 2, here's something you can do that never would have occurred to me. Give wishes in their fantasies some reality. The reason why big brother doesn't want little sister to get all of mommy and daddy's attention is because he wants some of that. He wants to be the little one. And there's a way you can let the older one pretend to be the little one from time to time. Hey, why don't you come here, Billy, and you can sit on my lap and you can be my big giant baby. He might find that funny, but that might actually be exactly what he wants every now and then, just to sit on mommy daddy's lap and get that sort of attention that he's watching his younger brother or his younger sister receive. So that's a great way to defuse and untangle some of these rivalries. Here's another one that maybe is a bit more obvious. This one popped into my head right away, and that is to appreciate and to describe what you see when you do see positive interactions in that relationship. So notice those positive things. Speak up when you do. Oh wow, you figured out how to make your little sister happy. You cheered her up. Great job. She was crying and you went over and you made her smile again. And hearing that from you, that affirmation will encourage her to do it further. All right, here's another one you can do for the older sibling here in this rivalry. You can give them a job. You can give them some responsibility, an opportunity really to see himself or herself in a new way, with a new role. Instead of being, combatants, you can give him a job and give him some responsibility. Hey, Billy, can you go pick a storybook, a board book that you can read to your little sister? She really loves it when you read her stories. She loves listening to you tell stories. And now you've empowered him. You've given him, a positive thing to do instead of focusing on the negative. Number 5 is one that's dear to our hearts here at Run With My Son, and that is to reconnect. If they're feeling like they're not close to mom and dad because younger sibling is taking all the attention, that's a cue to you that, right or wrong, you can dive in and you can address that. So find ways to spend one-on-one time with each of your children. We've been talking that since episode 1. But our favorite way to do that is to go and have runversations, one-on-one time where you take your son and without anybody else tagging along, you make certain that everybody else is squared away. They're at home with mom, they're at school, they're in wherever. But you carve out some time every week to have that one-on-one time. And we like to go running on Saturdays in my household. We do it early in the morning before the day gets busy, and we do it pretty routinely and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. More than anything else, it's not about the running. It's not even necessarily about the conversations each week. Sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're miss. But it's always about, wow, I get to be all alone with Dad. I get him all to myself. And maybe it's not going to be a physical activity this week because circumstances don't allow it. Maybe you're just going out to get an ice cream together. But that one-on-one time, is key. And to do that with each one of your children. Don't leave anybody out. Give everybody their equal share of that. Dads, do me a favor. If you haven't already, you can go to runwithmyson.com and you can get right now for free this Couch to 5K training plan that's going to help you and your son learn how to run together in a 5K road race. No matter what his age or what your fitness level, it's good for ages 4, 5, 6, 7 and on up. It gives you the breakdown day by day, mile by mile, minute by minute, how much exercise you'll need to get there, even if you're coming from a 0 starting point, and it's specifically geared towards kids. You won't find that out there, and so this is a great resource, and you can get it for free right now. Runwithmyson.com, go download it, and take that one-on-one time to reconnect. Another way you can reconnect, you can share with your older child stories from when they were that young. Oh, Billy, I remember when you were a little baby, you used to want to open up the cabinets and get in and play with every single pot and pan in the kitchen, and you leave them all a big mess on the floor. And you can laugh about it now. But hearing those stories about what he used to be like, he won't remember that, but hearing it from you will cheer him up and make him realize that this, little natural enemy he's got running around the house isn't always going to be a little troublemaker. Someday she is going to grow up to be big boy just like he is. So reconnect with your older child in that manner. All right, number 6, we want to take action, but we want to do so in a way that doesn't have insult, that doesn't cast either child as the aggressor. So here's the example. If 2 children are arguing over a toy, or they're each coming at you with a different half of the argument, you got to say something like, all right, hold on. We, collectively, we need to separate because I don't want anybody to get hurt. So you see how in that sentence I didn't point out that Billy's being the aggressor or that Lucy is tugging on Billy's hair. Both of those things might very well be true, but you're not saying that. You're saying we need to separate, and then you give your reason, because I don't want anybody to get hurt. And then together you can come up with a plan for what that looks like. And very related to that is our last tip for today, and that is to try problem solving together. You don't want to dictate from on high what the answers are, as I frequently do. Of all these 7 difficult things, this is probably going to be the most difficult for me to solve, Dad Squad. But you want to resist the urge to take sides, and you also don't want to minimize the problem. Well, why can't you just, ignore what he's saying? It doesn't hurt your feelings. If you close your ears to it, just ignore it. That's minimizing somebody's problem, and that's not building closeness between you and your children, or between the two of, the younger one and the older one. It's only going to emphasize the distance. In fact, oh, gee, Daddy doesn't like me. He always takes Lucy's side, and that's the opposite of progress, dads. So we don't want to take sides. Instead, here, I'll model something for you. Try to say something like this. Okay, I see here that Billy wants to build. He wants to play with blocks all by himself. But Lucy, she wants to come and touch blocks. Wow, this is a tough problem. We need some ideas. And then you open it up to your children to help you come up with those ideas. Gee, we could take turns. Or maybe you play with these blocks and I play with all of those blocks. Or perhaps we do my activity now, but we keep in mind that right afterward we're going to play your activity. Simple problem solving, but if the ideas are being generated by the children, they're going to buy into it so much more, dads, because they had a hand in it. So there you go, 7 starting point tips to untangle these sibling rivalries. I hope they work for my household, and I'm certain that they're going to work in yours. But definitely, you have the opportunity right now to help some of our fellow dads out there. Go let your brothers know. Share with them, tag their names here in the comments if you think that they could benefit from some of the information that we've seen here in this video. By all means, go and buy the book, How to Talk to So Little Kids Will Listen, by Joanna Faber and Julie King. And share any of the victories you've had, anything you've learned. We'd love to hear it, Dad. So go ahead and put in the comments below, or on the Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, anything you've learned, any crummy nugget you've got that we could also benefit from. All right, thanks again for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next week and each Friday at 10:30 a.m.